Ladies and gentlemen, what's good? We're back with another Call of Duty mobile video. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day today. Season 4 is here, along with the new balance changes, which means we've got a new top 5 guns in Call of Duty Mobile. I know a lot of you guys probably weren't expecting for this to change at all, but I think some of the balance changes we've received this season are going to actually change things relatively. I was gonna say relatively drastically. Drastically wouldn't be the right term, but there's definitely gonna be some changes due to a big impact to the #1 gun on our list, so we're gonna go ahead and hop into the action. First off, to get things started, obviously we got our honorable mentions. First on this list is going to be the Holger. Now, obviously this is a gun that's kind of been back and forth on the outside of our top 5 honorable mention, and to be honest, I didn't really think that the buff that we got this season was super impactful, but I've actually started to see it a lot more in competitive use and also in rank. So obviously for a weapon like that was already very solid and very easy to use, for it to get just a couple frames better on the ADS speed definitely gives it a slight bit of an advantage. Simply because it does still have crazy strafe speed for a 100-round weapon, this is definitely going to be something that we continue to see in competitive use and can be really solid for holding down long angles or just pre-firing a doorway to keep things clear. Our other honorable mention is going to be the brand new Koshka sniper. Weapons like the DLQ, the Locust, and the Outlaw can definitely be used in search and destroy, but in respawns, just because of the fact that if you miss a shot, you're automatically dead, it's really difficult to put them in the top 5. With that being said, the Koshka is definitely an upgrade over the DLQ in a lot of different aspects. While it does have 1 RPM slower on the rate of fire, basically everything else on the weapon is an upgrade. So when it comes to mobility, the Koshka is going to give you an advantage over the DLQ, which was unequivocally the #1 sniper prior to this update. And some of the new attachments are also going to give you opportunities to play more aggressive with the Koshka as well, such as the new laser, which is actually going to give you more blank scope accuracy, which previously wasn't upgradable. Outside of some of those things, the two weapons are pretty much identical in every way imaginable, so with those tiny upgrades, I think we are going to start to see more pro players using the Koshka. And like I mentioned previously, I wouldn't necessarily recommend using it in respawns, but give it a try in S&D because it's definitely bound to dominate. Coming in at number 5, we have our weapon combo that has been in the top 5 basically ever since one of them arrived in the game. That is the SKS SVD combo that I would consider to be relatively interchangeable. Both of them are incredibly powerful, especially at long range, and especially if you're accurate with your shots. You can one-shot relatively consistently in 1 to 40 meters with the SVD, and you can 2-tap from anywhere on the map with the SKS. And also, if you hit a headshot, you can 1-tap from anywhere on the SKS, which with the rate of fire that it has is actually kind of crazy. The SVD is currently banned from competitive play in most regions, and the SKS has been attempted to be banned in many regions as well for these reasons specifically. With that being said, these are not easy guns to use, but once you master them, they can be incredibly frustrating for the opponents that you're going up against. I've started to see more and more SVDs in ranked, and honestly, it's something that I'd not seen for a long time, but now that people are finally starting to master it, it's not too surprising to see. Now, I had a tough time making a decision on the number 3 and 4 guns in the game because right now they are incredibly close, and honestly, for all intents and purposes, you can consider this one to basically be a tie. But for me, coming in at number 4 is going to be the Kilo, which actually was previously the #1 gun in the game. Now, the Kilo did receive a nerf this season, and on paper it doesn't really look like that much, but once you start to look more into the impacts of the nerf, you start to see it a lot more. Previously, the Kilo only required 1 headshot in order to 3-shot, which made it incredibly powerful, and especially given the fact that you can randomly hit 1 headshot relatively consistently, it made the time to kill something crazy. One of the 2 nerfs that the gun received this season was a reduction to the headshot multiplier, which now results in a requirement of 2 headshots in order to 3-tap, which is significantly more difficult than hitting 1 headshot. On top of that, it did get a slight damage reduction as well. So while the Kilo is still an amazing option, it's not nearly as lethal as it was previously because of how difficult it is going to be in order to achieve that 3-shot time to kill. Coming in at number 3, we've got the M13. Now, the M13 actually did also get a nerf this season, but to be honest, it's very minimal, and the stats that are going to be impacted are not really stats that are crucial to the success of the gun. The main reason that I'm moving the M13 ahead of the Kilo is because its nerfs don't impact its opportunity to decrease the time to kill with that 1 extra headshot. And while the M13 does require 5 shots to kill normally, it also has the fastest rate of fire of any assault rifle in the game, which means the 5-shot time to kill is pretty common comparable to the 4-shot time to kill on the Kilo, and that means you have that much more of an opportunity for one of those 5 shots that you need to hit ending up being a headshot, which reduces your time to kill pretty drastically, down to around 200 milliseconds. Like I said, these two guns are extremely comparable and both very, very strong, especially in the long range. You're not going to want to take a ton of up-close gunfights, but if you're accurate and you hit your shots, you can still win them. Now, moving into our top 2, there has been a lot of debate. And to be honest, whenever you're categorizing these two, it really comes down to number 1, how well you can control recoil, number 2, how well you can utilize natural cover to get into positions where you want to take gunfights, and number 3, honestly, what map you're on. If I was ranking my top 5 guns based on how easy they are to use, it might look a little bit different, but I'm going to have the number 2 gun this season being the CBR. Now, right now, there's no question the CBR is the best all-around option in Call of Duty Mobile. With a base magazine size of 50 rounds, pretty good strafe speed, decent range, and decent time to kill, there's really no downside to using the CBR. It's also really nice because you can basically build it out however you want to, so if you want to take more long-range fights, you can build for range and BSA, but for more aggressive players, you can build a little bit more for ADS speed and strafe and absolutely dominate up close. That is, unless you're going up against our number 1 option. See, the thing about options 2 through 5 is all of them can be countered relatively easily in some way, shape, or form. But there is no weapon that can counter our number 1 option up close, and that's going to be the MAC-10. Some fun facts to know about the MAC-10. It has the fastest rate of fire of any weapon in the game by more than 200 rounds per minute from the next option. Its base strafe speed rivals that of the unnerfed MX-9. It has multiple attachments that can increase both the strafe speed and the movement speed. And it has a single attachment that can increase your hip fire accuracy by 40%. All those combine to make the MAC-10 undoubtedly the strongest up-close full auto weapon that COD Mobile has had since the Akimbo Phoenix. The main reason I have the MAC-10 at number 1 is because of how good its up-close time to kill, and I know the common response is going to be, well, Bobby, you can't take gunfights at long ranges. The thing is, any player with decent map awareness and a smoke in their hand can easily close any type of a large gap and get into a scenario where the MAC-10 will be able to completely obliterate any other weapon besides a shotgun. And the thing about using a shotgun is, if you miss one shot or get a hit marker, you're automatically dead. Meanwhile, you can miss one bullet with the MAC-10 and still kill just as fast as the max time to kill with the CBR. When you combine that with absolutely ridiculous movement and strafe speed, it becomes pretty much untouchable in the close ranges. It's no surprise that the gun's becoming more and more common in the competitive scene, and I've got a feeling by the end of the season, it may just completely take over. Let me know you guys' thoughts on our top 5 guns in Call of Duty Mobile. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, do me a huge favor. Make sure to drop a like down below. Share this video to a friend. Subscribe if you haven't already, as we're on the road to 1 million. And I'll see you guys in the next one.